Bienvenidos, people of the internet, to a half-decent guy. This is FlameMDQ, and with that intro, I should make my inner 12-year-old self very happy. Today, I take you for a ride to Southtown. Get ready and have some sympathy for the walls. Here in Fatal Fury, Garou Densetsu City of the Walls. This guy is ready for both game styles, so don't worry if you play arcade or smart. Let the guide begin.
Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves.
As you know, you can run if you don't know how to walk. Our movement has some unique characteristics. These are well remembered, so let's start from the beginning. Firstly, Fatal Fury is set during the King of Fighters tournament. Therefore, we are allowed to hop. To do this, press slightly upwards and forward or backwards. You cannot hop over a standing opponent, which is useful for frontal attacks. Secondly, we can perform a running jump by pressing forward twice and then jumping. Note that this can only be done forwards, so it won't help you run away from the fight. We are wolves here, so show your fangs, not your tail. Although some wolves certainly move differently, not all of them can run, some move forward quickly, others cannot perform running jumps. If we try to move backwards, we only have backwards in a kind of hop. You hear right, technically you are jumping when you move backwards quickly. So low attacks and grabs will be useless against you during that instant.
What?
Do you find it difficult to control your jumps? That's okay, it happens to everyone. For this we can use our new button, REV. We usually switch into another channel when we do this transition rather than into a mirror match. Oh, I read the script here, there, sorry. I skipped it when I started with it. Thank you for the likes and subscribe for all the half-decent guys and those boring things that less than 8% do. In Fatal Fury City of the Walls, there are 4 buttons outside of movement, plus a 5th button called REV, which works in a very special way. This is where you have to choose Smart Style or Arcade Style. Both players will have access to 5 buttons. What's the difference? Smart Style actually has 6 buttons with 2 shortcuts. Perfect to just go for a simple playstyle and especially to learn the ropes, but have limitations on some other tools. So what's the difference with the REV button? It remains the same in both modes. When you press it and move forward, you will run. You can release the REV button at any time, but you won't jump while running if you are moving forward this way. If you move backward and press it, you will make a small jump backward. And finally, if we hold it down and jump, all jumps will be hops. If we use it while completely still, it will function as a shield, REV Guard. Unlike normal blocking, which is done by simply pressing backward, REV Guard will push our opponent further away when blocking and negate even the slightest damage from normal blocking. We will start with Smart Style, a mode more focused on new players. We have 4 buttons: Punch, Kick, Special Moves, and Smart Combo. Punches and kicks will be light and close, but if we hold forward, there will be far and heavy. In arcade styles, there will be 2 punches and kicks, light and heavy, affected by proximity, far or close. Kicks while crouching will be considered low attacks. Everyone have an air attack that will be considered a cross-up, meaning it will hit the opponent in the back unless they block it, considering that it crossed from the side. There is also a universal combo. In Smart, simply press punches non-stop. In arcade, it is light punch, heavy punch, heavy punch, heavy kick. Fun fact, in arcade style, you can change the ending to a low heavy kick to slightly change the opponent's knockdown.
Not done with you.
The Smart Style can perform special moves with a single button, depending on the direction you press, which will determine the move. The Arcade Style, on the other hand, requires a command to perform a special move.
Here goes.
Technically, the Smart Style can also do this, but with a small limitation. You see, all special moves have 3 versions, like Heavy and Rev. Smart Mode does not have access to the Heavy versions. If performed using Punch and Special Move, it will be the Rev version, and in the case of Arcade Style, the command is performed using the both buttons of the corresponding attack. The Rev version will have some more damage and some special features, such as starting faster or covering different angles. In addition, the Rev version will have access to Rev Axel. This means that a Rev move can always be followed by another Rev move.
Nice moves.
Hey, that didn't work! I say you could do it, not that it always worked. And Smart Style has the Smart Combo button. Just press it non-stop and you'll get a very practical Rev Axel sequence, which, with a little practice, is easy to turn into an explosive finish. You can't perform the same Rev move twice in a sequence, at least not in its entirety. Time to learn how to read all those meters on the screen. The life bar has a very special feature called S.P.G.
S.P.G.
It stands for Selected Potential Gear. At the start of the match, we'll be asked where we want to position it. Axle, Flux, or Final Ratio. During the stay,
S.P.G. S.P.G. S.P.G.
as I was saying, we have access to 2 special techniques. The first is the REV Blow, which is performed by using the key button and the Smart Combo button, or both heavy buttons in the case of arcade. The REV Blow is an attack on both the ground and in the air that ignores absolutely everything it receives.
Watch me, brother.
Seriously, everything.
I can't lose.
Well, not ignition gears.
Watch me, brother.
In addition, if we perform an auto combo, we can incorporate at the end of the sequence for an explosive finish. In the case of doing it in Smart, this will be automatically with an extra punch in the sequence.
Watch me, brother. I can't lose.
What if it should REV Blow cross? The one who does it second wins. Oh, does that happen when we do it at the same time? Oh, take 2.
Close one.
I'm sure you hear that. Counter hit. What is a counter hit? A counter hit occurs when we attack an opponent during any part of one of their attacks. Counter hits will cause more damage on impact than the regular version, and the opponent will also be unable to respond for a little longer. In addition, if the counter hit is performed by certain special moves, they will, well... Wow, that's slower than usual. Do players tend to fall that slowly? Oops, that sounded too deep. I mean, I was just referring to the charge's gravity and not something deeply metaphorical. Although this could also represent as how our mistake can lead to an extraordinary punishment that others can capitalize on. Oh wait, there they hit the ground. Well, as you can see, the charger falls quite slowly from the sky when receiving this type of counter hit. And as you can imagine, we can catch them and start a combo very easily when they are in that situation. This reaches a different level if a Wild Punish occurs. Wild Punish also occurs when punishing attacks that did not even manage to touch us. The damage from the impact will be slightly less than in a counter hit, but the stun from the hit will be huge, enough for a second heavy attack before starting a combo.
Not done yet.
In the specific case of an anti-air moves and REV Blows and some others, this will always count as counter hits.
Now I'm mad.
If you have been doing smart combos or launching rev attacks non-stop, you have probably heard Overheat a few times. What is Overheat? Below, we have 2 bars to pay attention to.
Try this on.
Let's start with the large one,
Brother.
which is the rev bar.
Overheat.
The rev bar will start at 0% at the beginning of the round, regardless of the previous round.
Cool down.
When you use rev moves of any kind or block attacks, it will slowly start to fill up.
Overheat.
Using rev moves in sequence will make them cost a little less. If you attack without rev moves, the bar will start to decrease.
Now I'm mad.
If we reach 100%, we will enter Overheat mode and will not be able to perform rev moves or advanced defense. In addition, the guard bar, the small one below the health bar, will also appear on the screen. If we are in Overheat mode, we will be able to block until our character can no longer resist and break their guard. It's a good idea to have something prepared to break your opponent's guards and start a combo at that moment.
Now you've done it.
Finally, we have the gear bar, which will charge when you split or receive damage.
Not done yet.
When you have 1 or 2 charges, you will have access to the ignition gear or red line gear, or supers
Now
if
you've
you want to
done it.
generalize and take the fun of the names. Almost all of them are done in the same way. In Smart Style, press Special Move
You'll pay
and
for
Smart
that.
Combo, or back Special Move and Smart Combo.
Like true Shiranui ninja. Shinobi-machi! Now you've done it.
The gear power will always be the highest available.
Feel the flames. Of Shiranui. You'll pay for that.
If you don't want to consume both parts at once, you have to execute the command in the traditional way. If you are in the arcade mode, the most common is down forward twice, then punch or kick. Here you can decide whether to use ignition or rail line depending on the strength of the attack button. One of the ignition gears will be invulnerable on release, so you can use it even when getting up after an knockdown.
Now you've done it.
And red line gears will always be invulnerable on release. But there is one more version, the hiding gear. The hiding gear, also invulnerable on release, can only be used if we have both charges ready and we are on S.P.G. The input is universal. Punch, special move, and rep. And in arcade mode, down forward twice and rep.
S.P.G.
This is not only the most powerful attack in your arsenal, not only because it offers damage, but because when you hit it, you will completely refresh the rep bar to 0, regardless of whether you are even in over.
And done.
For the children.
But sometimes trying to connect the first hit can be very difficult. This is where dodge attacks come in. These are preferred with the assigning button in smart mode and in arcade mode with K-punch and rep. You can also do them while crouching. What do they do? Dodge attacks generally do less damage, but as the name suggests, they allow you to attack with an evasive move. If you do it standing up, it will avoid all low attacks. If you do it while crouching, it will avoid all medium and high attacks. This is an excellent way to punish an attack and continue the offensive if you make a correct prediction.
Not yet.
And now, all that's left is the most complex mechanic of all, the difference between a puppy and a wolf. Defend yourself. Well, we can block by pressing backwards and even avoid all damage and push the opponent by pressing the red guard button. If we block an attack when it's about to hit us, we'll perform a just defense. What's the point? Besides looking cooler? By doing so, we will recover health, and the red bar will decrease slightly with each successful just defense.
S.P.G.
Yes, you have to press backward exactly behind every hit. honestly, after the first time, if he's a multiple attack, just press it non-stop. And you can even do it in the air. In addition, during a shoes defense, we can spend a portion of rep on a move, even a normal one, to do a guard cancel and counter-attack. It might not be noticeable if we don't pay attention to the health bar, but it will do less damage than the same combo without starting from a guard cancel.
Just getting started.
So choose wisely if you decide to spend that amount of rep and attack with reduced damage to get back on the offensive. But what if we try to make it even cooler? Pressing forward while blocking a multi-hit attack. An attack is considered multi-hit when we are in a block stun. This means, if we are blocking and raise the block button, our character continues blocking by itself. It's commonly called absolute guard. During both shoes defense and hyper defense, we can use the biggest counter-attack of them all, the zero frame, where we can raise a gear even while defending. Important note for smart style, you can't do it with the shortcut. You have to do the input manually. One way to do this is by anticipating with a buffering move, doing part or all the input manually, doing the shoes defense, and then the finishing with a forward and the corresponding attack button. And in the case of hyper defense, block the first attack normally, hyper defense the second attack of a multi-hit, and input the gear. Hyper defense not only does it have all the benefits of shoes defense, but it also gives us an even bigger window of time to steal the offensive advantage in the match.
Damn.
This concludes our somehow decent guide, if you play in smart style. Now we will cover something that only Spirit Wolves have access to. Breaks and feints. Let's start with breaks. Breaks are specific moves that, if we press the red button while performing them, will interrupt them. What's the point of this? While in some cases it's more of a utility, such as stopping us early, the most common use is to extend combos by lifting the opponent off the ground. This can only be done with the heavy version of special moves, the red versions, and some red line gears. This undoubtedly generates the most spectacular combos possible in the game. On the other hand, feints works peculiarly. Feints are performed by pressing the heavy kick button and the rep simultaneously, or heavy punch and light kick. The character will perform a fake version of their move, and while it serves the mental game you can imagine, it can also be used in combos. Many normal attacks can be followed up with feints to perform a second normal attack. The most common scenario for this is undoubtedly a heavy kick, feint, heavy punch, and then the special move. With that, we finally conclude this half-decent guide. Hey, wait, where's the most important button in the game? Well, as you can imagine, the old boss are a little more aggressive, and aren't afraid to provoke their opponents. Press both punches and light kick to perform the old-fashioned taunt. And if you want to stir things up even more, you can do so when you win a round.
Or you die with fire.
Thank you very much for watching this video, but thank you even more for giving Fatal Fury, Garou Densetsu, City of the Walls a chance among your games. Subscribe so that you miss the next half-decent guide. And have a better day than Kain Air Hailline.
I'm from Bosnia, take me to America.